Hello, thank you for joining me today. I'm Amanda Fowler of Inspiring Inkin. Welcome to my craft room. In today's video we're going to be making this box on a card. It's actually a removable gift box that's 2 inches square, so a really great size to put some treats in. We're going to be making the card itself, and although I've made this sort of for Christmas, I think it would be perfect for a wedding favour or table decorations with your name on it, so like a place setting as well. So let's turn the camera around and get crafting. Here is the card up close and personal. You've got some stamping on the front. You've got this amazing removable gift box, which is a 2-inch square, so a really nice size actually to be able to get all sorts of gifts in. So let's get crafting. So we're going to start by making the box, and as always with all of my projects I always have a template. I really recommend that you do this too. It just means then that you don't have to keep referring back, but all of the measurements that I'm using are just below this video. Whether you're on YouTube or on my blog, you'll be able to see that those measurements. Now, what I do need to say is I have done a video about making perfect lids, so making boxes that actually fit together, and I'll put a link to that video again below in the description. What I'm doing with this box is the reverse of that, which is kind of strange. So let me explain. So basically, in order to get a box lid that always fits, you need to make the base a little bit smaller. This time I'm making the lid a tiny bit bigger. It's actually a 1/16 of an inch. It's a really, really tiny measurement. I'll explain as we go, but do check out the other video if you want perfect box lids. But we have to do this in reverse because I need a 2-inch box to fit on the card. I hope that makes sense. Makes sense to me anyway. So I really, really hope it makes sense to you. If it doesn't, just leave me a comment. I respond to every comment, so please do that. Now, the next thing I'm going to have to do is make an apology because I'm going to be using some paper that is out of stock currently worldwide. But we do have good news, and the good news is that this paper is coming back into stock in September. Yeah, that's September 2020. But, you know, it's a good thing. It's coming back. So this is a 6-inch square. I'm going to turn it round so hopefully it's not reflecting too much. And I am going to score it at 2 and at 4. And then turn it around and score it at 2 and at 4 again. And you'll be able to see on the template easier. That is going to make a box that's just going to fold in like this. Like this. Okay, so it's really easy. You can, it's a really easy kind of box fold. And then the lid is, and I'm just going to try and make sure this is really central so I can zoom in really closely. So actually, let me get my trimmer because you'll be able to see better on that. Okay, so if I line that up there, what I want you to do is, can you see that that is just over 3.5 inches? So if I put it there, it's, that long line is 3.5 inches. The one after that is a 1/16 more, and that is how big I've cut this. So it's the line after, this is exactly what it says on my template, the line after 3.5 inches square. And because the lid isn't very tall, we're going to score this at 3/4 of an inch on all 4 sides. So basically this is going to be a small depth of lid, but will fit perfectly that 2-inch box. Okay, so that's all the scoring I need to do, so we can pop that out of the way. And scissors, which I don't know how it happens when I'm crafting, but you put something down. Actually, I'm going to do it on this side, it's easier. You put something down and it disappears. Normally it's just buried. Okay, so these 2 flaps are going to fold in here. So as always, when you're making a lid or a box, you just need to take a little tiny sliver off that flap piece. So let me fold that up. And there. And then this piece. Okay, so let's just get those glued into place. I don't think I've mentioned in a video recently that Tombow is back in stock in Europe. Hooray! We've been without Tombow glue for a while, but it is now back in stock. It is limited to 3 per order. So if you're like me, every time you order you need to add 3, because I don't want to ever be without my glue, so that's good. Right, so 1 lid. Let's make the box. Let's give it a crease on all those score lines. Obviously you can use a bone folder, but I'm just going to use my fingers today. And again, let's just cut these. And again, because these are the flaps that are going to fold in, they're the flaps that you're going to cut the sliver from. Just stops the your box being lumpy. That does not want to trim today. Same with this one. Now, I'm obviously making this for like a Christmas gift, but there are so many other things that you could do with this. So it would make a great name place setting. So you could, instead of putting Merry Christmas, you could put somebody's name. That would work really well. You could make it as a birthday gift, obviously just change the sentiments around. I think it would also work really well as a wedding favour. So you could use it as, again, a name place setting, but then you could also give a small gift to your guests. So that would work really well as well. So let's pop that down. Okay. So there we go. So there's the box. There is its perfectly fitting lid. And let's get some lovely, I'm not sure what this is called. Yeah, it's on the side. That's helpful. Braided linen trim. Okay, so all I'm going to do is just tie this in a bow today. But you could fancy it up with some foliage or some baubles or all sorts of different things. Obviously put your gift in first, because otherwise you're going to have to undo the bow again. And once you've actually tied the bow, you really don't want to have to undo the bow again. So let me just trim that off. My scissors are covered in glue. So it's a bit tricky today. I love the fact that it's quite a stiff braid, so it does kind of stand nicely. So let's just move that into the centre. Try and move it into the centre. There we go. Okay, so there's my little box all made. So now let's get on with the stamping. Then we can cut the card and we will be all ready to go. So I've just got some vanilla. Here's my card template. So my card blank is Pretty Peacock. I've then got Night of Navy layer and a very vanilla layer. And the sizes are here. So this one is 3.5 by 2.5, and this one, no, let's say that again, 3 3/4 by 2.5, and then this is 3.5 by 2.25. Now I'm using 2 different stamp sets. So it's this beautiful Velvet Deer from Dashing Deer, and then the Merry Christmas from Merry Christmas to All. Now this deer only just fits. Got ink on my hand now. Right. Only just fits on this vanilla layer, so it's going to be tricky to see if I can get it all on. Right. Don't know why I've got the mat out actually, it's a red stamp. So let me move this so hopefully you can see it, and just try to make sure. I don't mind losing kind of the back end of his legs, but I don't want to lose his nose. So let's see. Yes! Ha! That's amazing. That's so exciting. Right, I'm going to put that to one side a minute and just do the other stamping so I don't run the risk of sticking my fingers in the ink. But that is just amazing. It looks like velvet. I just love that stamp. The detail on it is brilliant. So, we've got the Merry Christmas, but I can't do it yet. Getting ahead of myself. The reason I can't do this piece is because I've got to cut this first. If I stamp it, it might not be in the middle. Okay, so let's move that and the dangerous ink pad out of the way. Let me just show you this. So this is how the box is going to sit. Okay, so you are going to have to cut a hole. Now you can do this with a craft knife and a self-healing mat, and use a metal ruler though, just to make sure you get the straight edges, or you can use the awesome Stampin' Up! Trimmer, which will work. Now I have done this where I've folded it over and cut through 2 layers of cardstock, but to be honest, you probably don't want to do that because it's going to put quite a lot of strain on your trimmer. So I'm going to teach you how to do it, just cutting singly. So you are going to cut 1 1/4 inches up and down from the score line, and it's going to be at the 1 inch point and the 3 inch point, and then you're just going to join them up together. So let's move the scoring blade out of the way. So I'm going to move this to 1 inch, and I'm going to move and I'm actually going to stand up because I'll be able to look over the top and see better. So I'm going to move my cutting blade so it's at the 4 inch point, and I'm going to cut up 1 1/4 inches. And this is fab because it has the measurement there on the blade. And then I'm going to cut down 1 1/4 inches. Okay, so that's your first cut line. Then if you turn it around and measure it this way at 3 inches, if you haven't moved your blade, it's in exactly the right place. So I'm going to cut up to the middle and then cut up 1 1/4 inches. And then if you put the score line at 1 1/4 inches, and you can check because you've got this central line here, you can then cut in between the 2 pieces. Turn it around, put that score line at the 1 1/4 inch line, line it up, and cut it. Okay. So long as you just take your time with the cutting, you'll be fine. If, like here, I've just got a little bit that I didn't quite cut through, that's fine. Just snip it. Okay. So there's the card. So let's just check that the box will fit in. Yes, it does. And it needs to be snug. Okay, so it does need to be snug in there. So let's do the stamping. So I want my Night of Navy ink. And I've got the Merry and the Christmas. And before I stamp, I'm going to stick these bits on. So of course, so there went the doorbell. So let's put a little bit more glue on there and get that stuck down. And then put that on the front. Okay, let's move that out the way. Okay, so that then means that I can position my Merry Christmas in exactly where I want it. Right, I'm going to do them one at a time. So I'll do the Christmas first. And then to the Merry. Ooh, bit of a wobble there. Yeah. Okay. So that is the card pretty much done. I am going to just get this little strip here. I'm just going to put a little bit of stamping. Let me just get a scrap piece of paper there, because that is going to go over the edge, I am sure. I didn't bring my grid paper, so let's just improvise. So I'm just going to pop that there, so that we've got a layer for the inside. Now obviously you could do something fancy and cut that shape out there if you want to, but I'm just going to put a small piece there on the inside. Okay, so I'm going to close that ink pad before I get ink everywhere. Now you can see the card is actually sliding a bit. Once the box is on, it tends to stay more stable. It sort of holds it. But do really be careful about what amount of weight you're going to put in there. Obviously you don't want something really heavy that's going to topple over. But there is a little trick that will help it stay steady, and particularly if you're using it for like a place setting or something like that. So we'll take that off. What you can do is pop in a little strip of cardstock. Now this is an inch wide. I'm just going to pop it there and there. And all it does is it gives you a bit of stabilisation. So it keeps the card open so long as it's glued and stuck. Yeah, I'm so used to Tombow grabbing so quickly that sometimes it fools me. Right, so there you go. So that will then stay there. It's all stable. It's not going to move anywhere else. Okay, so that is my gift box on a card. Obviously, as I've said all along, you can change this up for all sorts of different things. But I think it's a lovely stylish card, but also a great gift opportunity as well. So thank you so much for joining me today. All of the products that you've seen can be purchased in my online store, which is available 24/7 for your convenience. You can scroll down if you're on YouTube or on my blog, and you'll see links to all of the products that I've used. Do subscribe to my blog and to my YouTube channel. That way you'll always be the first to know whenever I have new creative inspiration for you. Do leave me a comment as well. I answer each and every one, and I love to hear what kind of crafting you're getting up to and how you're finding my videos. So take care, and I'll see you again soon. Goodbye.